International Weather News Forecast, September 4th, 2025. Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the International Weather News Forecast on this Thursday, September 4th, 2025. We have now stepped into the first full week of September, traditionally considered a transitional period between the extremes of summer and the gentler breezes of autumn across the northern hemisphere. Typically, this is a time when residents from North America to Europe, from Asia to the Middle East, look forward to cooler air, calmer skies, and the relief of seasonal change. But this year, the atmosphere refuses to follow the script. Instead of tranquility, we are witnessing a stage filled with powerful and unpredictable actors, storms, hurricanes, super lows, and tropical waves, all unfolding at the same time. This week's weather story is truly global. The Atlantic Ocean is bracing for the possible birth of a new hurricane named Gabrielle. The Eastern Pacific is reeling under the strength of Lena while monitoring the movements of Kiko. Over land, Canada is feeling the first strong breath of autumn with a dramatic cold plunge. And the United States faces widespread rain, storms, and flooding. Taken together, these events make early September 2025 one of the most dynamic starts to the fall season in recent memory. Atlantic Ocean, the making of Gabrielle. The main spotlight today falls over the waters just west of the Cabo Verde Islands. Meteorologists have long referred to this area as the hurricane nursery of the Atlantic. Here, vast tropical waves sweep off the African coast and, under the right conditions, begin their transformation into storms that can grow into full-blown hurricanes. Today, satellite imagery shows a swirling mass of thunderstorms and moisture consolidating over these warm waters. Already, multiple forecast centers, from the U.S. National Hurricane Center to the European and Japanese agencies, are sounding alarms. The likelihood that this disturbance will develop into a tropical depression, then into a named storm, is extremely high. Should this occur in the next day or two, the name Gabrielle will officially be added to the 2025 hurricane roster. Yet the world's meteorologists are not simply asking if Gabrielle will form, but where will it go? And here lies the uncertainty. The GFS model, Global Forecast System, from the US, suggests that Gabrielle may begin a gentle curve to the north within days, following a weakness in the subtropical ridge. In this scenario, the storm could pass near or east of Bermuda, before heading back out into the open Atlantic. Impacts to land would be limited, aside from rough seas and heavy surf. The ECMWF model, from Europe, however, tells a more troubling story. This version keeps the subtropical high strong and extended, effectively blocking Gabrielle's escape route. Instead, the storm is steered westward, on a collision course with the Caribbean islands. This scenario would put nations such as Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Cuba in the danger zone. The truth, as always, may lie somewhere between these extremes, but the key factor remains the strength and position of that subtropical ridge. A slight expansion could push Gabrielle westward, a slight weakness could allow it to turn north. It is this delicate balance in the atmosphere that makes forecasting tropical cyclones both challenging and critical. For now, island nations across the Caribbean are being urged to remain vigilant. Preparedness measures, from stockpiling emergency supplies to reinforcing homes, should begin even before the official track is known. History has shown us, from Hurricane Maria in 2017 to Dorian in 2019, that when a powerful storm takes aim at the Caribbean, every hour of preparation counts. Current Caribbean conditions, rain, floods, and uncertainty. While Gabrielle's story is still in the making, residents across the Caribbean are already enduring unstable weather. Heavy rains and violent thunderstorms have swept through Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Haiti, Cuba, and the Bahamas. Streets in low-lying neighborhoods are underwater, and landslides are being reported in mountainous terrain. Over the next 48 to 72 hours, forecasts call for additional bursts of rainfall. These storms may not blanket the entire region, but where they strike, they may strike hard. Rainfall totals of 50 to 100 millimeters in a few hours could easily trigger flash floods. In countries like Haiti, where deforestation has left hillsides bare, the risk of landslides is especially high. Electrical storms are also a concern, as intense lightning strikes threaten both lives and infrastructure. Authorities are warning residents to minimize unnecessary travel during storms, to remain indoors during lightning events, and to keep emergency kits ready. For many families, these reminders are already routine, but the looming threat of Gabrielle gives them an added sense of urgency. Pacific Ocean, Lena and Kiko. Switching hemispheres, the Pacific Ocean is telling a story of its own. In the eastern Pacific, Hurricane Lena is barreling toward the Baja California Peninsula in Mexico, with sustained winds near hurricane strength and rainfall projections of up to 200 millimeters. Lena is poised to unleash widespread flooding. The steep slopes of western Mexico make this a particularly dangerous storm. Rivers can rise rapidly, sweeping away homes, roads, and crops. Even after landfall, Lena's impact will linger. Its moisture-laden remnants are expected to surge north into the United States. States such as Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, though often dry, may suddenly face torrential downpours. For desert landscapes, where soil cannot absorb water quickly, flash flooding becomes a severe hazard. Meteorologists are already drawing comparisons with past storms such as Hurricane Nora in 1997 and Hurricane Odile in 2014. Both of which caused extensive flooding well inland. Further west, in the central Pacific, Hurricane Kiko spins across open waters. For now, Kiko is far from land, but long-range forecasts suggest it could edge closer to Hawaii by mid-next week. Its eventual strength remains uncertain. Long tracks across the Pacific can sap a storm's energy, but equally, bursts of favorable conditions, warm seas, low wind shear, could allow it to re-intensify. Out of caution, Hawaii's emergency officials are already advising residents to review their preparedness plans. Canada and the United States, early autumn storms. Turning our attention to the mainland, Canada is currently under the grip of a powerful weather system. A vast low-pressure zone has merged with a descending cold trough, creating what meteorologists are describing as a super low. In Ontario and Quebec, winds are expected to gust between 50 and 70 km per hour, rattling trees and power lines. Temperatures across much of eastern Canada will plunge 5 to 12 degrees Celsius below normal, marking one of the earliest strong cold outbreaks in recent memory. This sudden shift is likely to bring the colors of autumn earlier than usual, but also increase the risk of energy demand spikes as residents reach for heating systems. In the United States, the influence of this Canadian system is already being felt. The Midwest and Great Lakes regions are forecast to see multiple rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Cities such as Chicago, Cleveland, and Detroit may experience travel disruptions as rainfall totals climb. Along the busy corridor of Highway 401 and in New England, rainfall between 50 and 75 millimeters could create dangerous driving conditions and localized flooding. Farmers in the Midwest are also on alert, as heavy rainfall during harvest season can damage crops and delay collection. Central America, monsoon rains. Finally, in Central America, the southwest monsoon continues to drive moist air from the Pacific onto the land. Countries including Nicaragua, Honduras, Costa Rica, and Panama will see frequent rainfall, often heavy. Residents here are accustomed to wet conditions during this season, but this year's totals are running above average. The result: rivers near flood stage, hillsides unstable, and rural communities vulnerable to isolation. CONCLUSION, a world in motion. As we step into September 2025, the world's weather map is alive with extremes. The Atlantic watches the birth of Gabrielle. The Pacific contends with Lena and Kiko. North America braces for rain and cold, while Central America battles relentless monsoon floods. Every region faces a different threat, yet the common denominator is the same: vigilance, preparation, and resilience. In the days ahead, all eyes will remain on Gabrielle. Will it curve northward harmlessly into the Atlantic? Or will it charge westward toward the Caribbean, endangering millions? That answer will come soon, as the storm grows and the models sharpen their predictions. Rest assured, we will continue to track every development, every shift, and every advisory. Stay connected with us for timely updates that could make the difference in safety and preparedness. That concludes today's extended international weather news forecast for Thursday, September 4th, 2025. Thank you for joining us. Please subscribe, follow, and stay with us for continuing coverage of the planet's ever-changing skies. Until next time, stay safe, stay prepared, and may calmer weather be ahead.